What's up, Honesty with Comedy podcast listeners? This is Call to the Wilderness Part 2. So I left off at me considering and trying to figure out what I needed to do as far as fasting goes, right? So I did that. I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and do this fasting and see what she's saying can come out of it is true. I need to know. Because I'm going to tell the truth. I don't need to do it from somebody else. I need to do it for myself. Yeah. Anyway. But, so I did it. And I didn't know what to expect. I was like, Lord, come on now. If you are real, truly, I need to figure out if you're reaching to me, if you're telling me something, if you're trying to reveal to me that heaven is real, you is real still, like I said, I really was thinking they're just following the Lord and they catching what is the Holy Ghost? I'm thinking like, they just dancing. Who really thought that stuff was really real? I mean, not me. That's not where I'm from. So when they be doing the two step in the percolator, you know what I'm saying? It's time for the percolator in the church. I really thought it was just them liking, and they just in the gospel type of music, and they like that beat. You hear me? But yeah, I was in for a rude surprise. Well, actually, it wasn't a rude surprise. It was a surprise from what I had ended up experiencing, and it really did shift so much in me. Seriously. I'm sorry, that's my grandbaby. I really didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Some people are just not sure because I don't know this process. So, like I said, but because she seemed so in tune with what she was talking about, I really believed it. So I was really curious because I needed to dive in deep. I knew I had this void. I knew for a fact that so I had then, like I said, I went aggressive full style, and I had my declaration to the Lord, like, Lord, I don't know what's going on. If you real, I really need you to reveal yourself. I need to know what is it that I feel like I'm spiritually attached to something, and that I'm supposed to be doing something different with my life, right? So I feel like you're reaching down and I'm reaching up, but we cannot connect, and I need to figure this out, right? And so I did my fast on everything. That first fast, I was so shocked because I went to sleep, and I don't know what time it was, but if to me it almost felt like something started to transpire immediately, but I thought I was asleep, but I wasn't sure if I was sleep. But I promise you, Lord is my witness. God is real, like I said. So he knows I'm not lying. So I'm laying down on my back, and I'm feeling like this tug, like I said before, this tug of war. I'm not understanding, like, but my head is like this, going back and forth, back and forth. And I don't sleep like that. Like I said, like my feet normally is going back and forth. How some people got they weird tendencies, to get to sleep. It could be a disability as well. But who knows? But anyway, so but it's like a tug out in a different round, but in my like chest area, even though my head was going back and forth. And then it's like the minute I felt the one thing on one side, another thing on another side, I felt something detached, like had to let go or lost that tug of war, and it was the loudest scream. And I say, Godzilla. If I could insert that Godzilla sound in this video, I would. Literally, that was the thing that I could equate what that sound like. So, and then after the sound, like, boom, so loud that I thought, like, seriously, a truck, a car, or somebody drunk and came in the parking lot and crashed to the building. But I'm like, okay, my window not busted or anything. So, but the shades was kind of just, shaking a little bit. So, I got up. I got up like, I'm out here. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here. And at that time, I didn't know the Lord. So, if I really had a relationship like that and I knew him, then he would have been my defender. You hear me? Like I learned it that he is now. But at that time, my defender was my buddy Smith and Wesson. You hear me? Age 38. Description, strong and black. You hear me? So that was my defender. You feel me? So I was like, okay, the cats ain't out here tripping. They sleep. My window ain't busted. The door ain't kicked in. It ain't no raid going on. What had happened? So I'm not understanding, right? So I'm looking around still. I'm discombobulated at this time. What was that scream? And then that loud boom. So I just lay back down, like after a while, because I'm tripping. Of course, I'm like, this fast came with some potency. Like, this is tripping me out right now. Like, what kind of fast is this? This a whole new type of, substance. so so I lay down and then it's like immediately sleep. And then my alarm went off and I was frustrated because I had to work. I'm like, really? I had to go in a coma real quick, okay? And then wake back up. What was that sound? That's all I woke up like. I could not, I was stuck. But what was even crazier, I woke up different. And I mean different. Like I was still me externally, but internally, it was like a whole nother thing, person. I couldn't even identify. And then it's like, my normal conversations and stuff, waking up. Shockingly, I wasn't even hungry still, maybe it wasn't a full 24 hours because I think I started like, no, I did start at nighttime actually, that fast. So I think I had to wait till like 5 o'clock or something that night so it could be 24 hours. But I felt like a change immediately before a whole full 24 hours. So in my eyes, it was time to eat. So I started pre-making hot dogs. But anyway, so after waking up, I'm still tripping. Like, what is that sound? And then I'm like trying to talk. I'm getting ready for it. And I use bad profanity since, like I said, 7, 8 years old. And I'm talking and I realize I can't even say a curse word. Not one curse word. It wouldn't even come a thought in my mind. And I realized it after I'm talking after a while. And I'm like, hold on now, I ain't said not one curse word. That's new. Even for me, I reckon it. Mm-hmm. And even when I try to say it, it would not come out. It's almost like that Liar movie with Jim Carrey, but he had to tell the truth though, of course. But with me, I couldn't even say a curse word. It wouldn't come out. Like the Lord just snatched the profanity out, like this needs to go first or something. I'm like, okay, well maybe that was what he snatched. Maybe that was that tug of war. Boy, that profanity was struggling, wanting to stay. Like, nope, we've been with her the longest. But I could. But then I felt like brand new. Like I didn't have no grudge against nobody. I didn't have no ill wills for. And I would sleep with ill wills and grudges. I had those for years with a ton of people. But so I tested like, okay, well, let me think about somebody who normally triggers me, and that was a few. That was easy. But then I'm thinking, and nothing came. I didn't have not one ill will, negative feeling towards nobody. I said, hold on now. Is this what Christ feel like towards us? So bro, I felt brand new. skipping and hopping. I was all happy. Now, normally I'm a goofy type of person, but I wasn't that happy. I was still struggling. I could have sworn I still had a past due notice at that time, so I didn't know what was going on. But I was, and it was so crazy. But I'm still sitting, and I ended up having to call my friend. Like, girl, have you ever did a fast before? She knew of it, but I don't think she ever did. And I said, why did I hear the loudest scream? And I don't even know what it was, right? And then what's crazy, after a while, I did come across a church sermon that talked about deliverance. You do a fast and like the Lord would deliver you. And like we all have like these demonic, unclean spirits attached to our soul that we don't even know about. We don't even have a clue, right? Because of the way we live before all of this. I said, huh? So they talked about how, you go through a fast, it kills the desires of the flesh or crucifies the flesh. But it wasn't a coincidence. It was almost like God was explaining to me what that was, why I felt the way. And then recently, even learning of reading Ezekiel. What was that? Ezekiel, I'm gonna have to find that, but where it says to give me a new heart. And he said, I will put my spirit in you. And it was just something I learned. Is that what happened? Like, that's what you call a deliverance? I was delivered? What is delivered? Like, I was learning along the way, though. But it was like he was leading me to any questions that I had. It was tripping me out how he was teaching me hands on. I got to tell y'all about that.